NFL season begins tomorrow, and on the eve of the start of week one, all these people are talking. Look at everybody. You see Jordan Love down there, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Caleb Williams. I had to say them all because once I said one, I was stuck. You're going to hear from all of them. That's coming your way during our show as we welcome you into NFL Live. So glad that you're with us. Dan Orlovsky's here. Field Yates is here. Marcus Spears, Adam Schefter. Let's roll, boys. Adam, are you ready to go? Oh, there's the wave because we needed the wave so it could officially start. And now let's get to the news, okay? Adam Schefter joining us with his top stories. Let's start with some bad news for the Jets. What's going on there, Adam?
All right, Laura, at Tuesday's practice, the Jets starting guard Elijah Vera Tucker hurt his triceps. He's undergoing tests, but the team fears it's a torn triceps injury that could require surgery and would end his season. He suffered a triceps injury in 2022. It was the opposite arm. This is a different arm, but it could be the same result. His season could very well be over. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers wait to see whether or not they'll have Micah Parsons on Sunday against the Lions. He's preparing to play. He's trying to play. He's prepared to take a pain-killing injection if it means that he has to do that to play. But I don't think anybody thinks Micah Parsons is going to sign a $188 million deal. Green Bay is going to give up what it did, and he's not going to play against the Lions. So look for Parsons to be out there Sunday. And meanwhile, we have our first injury report of the season with lots of little informational nuggets on there. Trayvon Diggs, good to go tomorrow night. Tyler Guyton, good to go tomorrow night. Jalen Carter, good to go. Landon Dickerson, who had knee surgery last month, is going to make it back. He is not even listed on the injury report for Thursday night's opener, so the Eagles will have their ultra-tough, ultra-talented Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson trying to open holes for Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley.
That Landon Dickerson news was huge. When we heard that happen a little while ago, we were worried he wouldn't be ready for the opener. As Adam's telling you, he is. So how about this? Just over 24 hours until the Cowboys-Eagles game kicks off. It's almost here, people. The Cowboys only have 4 active wide receivers, but they each bring something different. CeeDee Lamb coming off another 100-catch season. The trade for George Pickens adds a magnet for those tight window throws. Kevontae Turpin, the best return man in the NFL last season, and Jalen Tolbert led the Cowboys in touchdown catches a year ago. Brian Schottenheimer was asked about Pickens and CeeDee playing together yesterday.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch those guys every day in practice. You know, it's fun to watch those guys. But what I love, Todd, is I love the way they feed off one another and they celebrate one another. You know, as we all know, there's one ball. You know, and the ball can't go to multiple spots on the play, and we've got a lot of really good weapons. You know, Terp's having a great, lead up to the season. We're going to run the football. We know that, and so I'm just excited for how much fun those guys have playing the game as Cowboys.
Golly, it certainly looks good, even on the practice field. Dan, what can this Cowboys offense take advantage of against the Eagles tomorrow?
One, take advantage of the unknown. Ryan Schottenheimer hasn't been the play caller in the NFL for 5 years. And Vic Fangio, who's the defense coordinator for Philly, has been around the NFL forever, but there's not really a known of who they're going to be on offense. We've heard all offseason that they wanted to get into more formations and more shifts and more motions and different actions and play actions. The Eagles are guessing a little bit on who you are schematically. So in the game early on, see if you can get into that stuff and use tempo doing it. Use no huddle to do it, to force communication from Philly at home, and maybe that helps you offensively. And the second thing is, I would throw 80% of my passes opposite Quinyon Mitchell. The corner 2 spot, whoever's stepping in for Darius Slay, it should be Adoree Jackson. Now, Adoree Jackson's played a lot of time, a lot of games in the NFL. Certainly not in Philly. There's really only 3 proven guys in that secondary that have played a lot for Philadelphia. I would make sure that I'm taking plenty of shots opposite Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best wide receiver duos that Philadelphia will see all season. It's one of the best, probably in the entire NFL right now with the addition of George Pickens. But it's an inexperienced group collectively in Philadelphia, not in terms of like actual time played in the NFL. But to your point, Dano, like this is some new faces that are going to have to communicate at a high level, which say what you want about Philadelphia's roster. Listen, there are no major roster holes for Philadelphia, but there are a couple of guys who are going to have to earn their stripes. There is no longer a C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a Darius Slay, guys who have been there, seen a lot of skins on the wall in Philadelphia. So it's a big test coming out of the gates here for that Eagles secondary. And this Cowboys offense, I know Shotty keeps talking about wanting to run the football, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself, when you got those 2 guys, like,
I would take shots early.
Make them earn it in the secondary.
I love what both of y'all are saying about pushing the ball downfield. Your 2 best offensive weapons are your wide receivers. So it makes a ton of sense. Don't forget about Jake Ferguson either at the tight end spot, trying to exploit some things throughout the middle of the field. But this has to be a play-action balance type of situation for Dak Prescott. You lean heavily more towards the pass. That's why I'm in agreement with you all. But y'all go back and harken back to those conversations we had last year with the Dallas Cowboys. They could not find a run game at all. There needs to be some semblance of being able to do that, especially with an offensive line now that has to be a physical offensive line, and running the football is always easier for these guys. I'm not sure how many times you want to just drop straight back against Philly, especially with Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith being up there on that defensive line for them, and Jordan Davis being able to push the pocket as well. So Smith, and you look at all of these guys that they brought in at the running back position, but more important, Miles Sanders returning back to Philly after his Super Bowl year and run that he had with them. I'm looking forward to seeing them have balance for Dak in order not only to protect him, but also open up some of those downfield shots that y'all talk about with CD and George Pickens. And we know what they want to do with George Pickens. Yeah. Get him one-on-one on the outside and let him big boy a defensive back down the field.
That's what they call it, big boy in the DB.
Big boy.
By the way, you mentioned play action. Dak has the 5th best touchdown-interception ratio on play action throws since 2020, so favors him as well. New on NFL Live, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are preparing for their primetime showdown. They both spoke less than an hour ago in the matchup. We're bringing it to you now.
Don't turn the ball over, finish drives, put our team in a great position to win. That's all.
Lamar, how many times have you gone back and watched the Buffalo game at all?
I can't count. Just watching film a lot, but just me going back to see like a loss, I don't know.
When you look at the film, what do you see?
I see we could have did better. That's it.
They're good. They're really good. They have a really good front, best run-stopping front in the league. On the back end, they've invested a lot of first-round picks, on their DBs and safeties. I think everybody in their back end's a first-round pick. So they've got some absolute studs over there. Their third down package is really hard to stop. It's hard to see. Luckily we'll be at home and be able to communicate a little bit better than we were early on in the season last year. And obviously we played them in the playoffs, and we understand there's going to be a lot of heightened emotions on both sides.
Yeah, just in case you needed something to get you excited about today.
Every person in the secondary is a first rounder.
Crazy.
Wow.
Also, a couple MVPs ready to go at it again. Allen holds the slight edge with 3 wins, including both playoff games. Jackson's numbers are slightly better, except those turnovers, as you see there. Only one quarterback has beaten Lamar Jackson more than Josh Allen, and it's Patrick Mahomes with 5. Those 3. All right, Field. When you look at this Buffalo offense, what do you expect out of the receiver group? Because that's a question mark we've had all off.
Yeah, Josh Allen proved last year he doesn't need a game-changing wide receiver to win the NFL MVP. He literally did that last year. But I am curious if there is a developmental arc for Keon Coleman that maybe puts him in play to become a guy that on third and gotta have it, red zone, short yardage, whatever it is, late in a playoff game, Josh Allen says, I'm just going to throw the ball to number 0 because he is better than the opposing team's corner who has him on that specific play. Now, Coleman, by the way, is dealing with a groin injury that he was limited in practice today as a result of. We know what Khalil Shakir is. He's Mr. Steady Eddie. He's a guy that Josh is always going to find in a pinch. Is there a guy that when you're just down and you need it and you just need your best to be better than their best, is there somebody in that group?
What I think is a big deal with Keon and Josh Palmer, who they signed from L.A. in free agency, is are they willing to block?
Well, in that offense,
Matt Collins was a big deal for that. Evolve from that stuff, or does he throw a new formation or scheme wrinkle in there that becomes this year's version of that.
Yeah, by the way, he loves to do some wrinkles, so
yeah, it was great last year.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what it becomes.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. By the way, good news for the Ravens defense. Cornerback Jair Alexander was practicing in some capacity today for the first time since August 9th. Keep an eye on that. All right, we're just getting started on NFL Live. The Packers loaded up Jordan Love with a new playmaker, but just how much of the impact can a rookie have, against a tough Lions defense? We'll talk about that Matthew Golden conversation. Plus,